Hi everyone, Ashlyn Giza YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about the Yin Yang or Yin Yang. It's a Chinese symbol. So me and my husband the other day were cruising down a road going to a man-made lake here in Iowa to go fishing, and we got to talking about life and how you should always take the good in with the bad. And a lot of people take that cliche saying and they kind of like, they hear it, but they don't really listen to what that means or think about what that means. A lot of the quotes and stuff that have came out in this world, a lot of people just, it's so cliche to people and taboo, and like people don't think about it enough or talk about it enough when people spew out different quotes around the world. Um, so me and my husband got to talking about everything and how, there's always bad things that happen, and how there's like always a rainbow after the storm, and how sometimes, you're stuck in the storm, you're stuck in the bad moments for a long time. And it seems like you don't get out of those good moments, or you don't get out of those bad moments. I'm sorry, is what I meant to say. So it just seems like you're gonna be there forever. But sometimes what we don't understand is that when we're suffering, our suffering can be somebody else's happiness. We could be sacrificing our happiness for somebody else's happiness. Um, so I'm going to read you guys some stuff that I found on the internet, and then I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about like personal personal points of view of mine that have to do with the yin yang. So, okay. The yin yang, a Chinese philosophical concept that describes opposite forces which are interconnected. In Chinese cosmology, the universe creates itself out of primary chops of material energy organized into cycles of yin yang and formed in the objects and lives. A two force Yin Yang is two forces that make up all aspects of a phenomenon of life. Yin and Yang are depicted as light and dark halves of a circle. Yin and Yang is in a person would be like a shy introvert, inward, and would be said to be the Yin personality. An outgoing person, an assertive or aggressive individual would be said to be more of a Yang. There's light and dark, day and night, good and evil. So, and then the yin is the dark side of a yin yang is associated with everything hard, negative, cold, wet, and feminine. The yang part is used to characterize warmth, energy, motion, loudness, and light and masculine. So like the men part of the yin yang. A dot of each color is situated near the center of the other's halves. So if you've seen a yin yang before, there's a white side and a black side, and then there's in the white side there's a black dot, and the black side there's a white dot. The white dot in the black area and the black dot in the white area connote coexistent and unity of opposites form a whole. The curvy line shows that there's not exactly any separations between the two opposites. So they kind of, are, they make one, they make whole. So you don't have a straight line going. You have that, and you have that the white side, and you have that the black side. There's a wavy line because it shows that the bad and the good intertwine, that the good and the bad all balance as one. So, and then in medical and in Chinese, to be healthy, one needs balance, the yin yang forces within one's own body. So, okay, I talked to you guys about charyas a lot. And so if any of these are off balance, they won't be in a straight row like this. One will kind of go that way, one will go that way, and they won't spin perfectly like they're supposed to, because each of these wheels spin perfectly when your body isn't in alignment. So with the yin yang, it's the same way. You want to be in alignment. You want to be in perfect harmony and perfect balance. And if you don't have that, things aren't going to be so good, because you're going to have too much of one color on the other side, and when it's not supposed to be like that. We're supposed to have a little bit of both. So, have you guys ever heard of these sayings before? Take the good with the bad. Okay, to accept both the negative and positive aspects of something. Nothing is perfect, but yet everything is. Okay, so there's a quote by Edmund Cooper. When one flower dies, another one is born. Okay, because death is certain for the one who is born, a birth is certain for one who dies. So, and then there's another quote that's means the same thing, but it's said differently, and it said, "A life lost is one gained." And that's the quote that my best friend always used to say. He always used to tell me when we would talk about death that, hey, he would say, when I go someday, it just means that there's another one born. And what gives me goosebumps and chills about that is that before his passing, his sister was pregnant, and she ended up having a baby when he passed away. So it was really ironic and just crazy and neat and cool that when he left us, his sister had a baby. So it was so crazy, and it was very special. Um, so, okay, now that I've talked to you guys about the yang, I say yin yang, and a lot of Americans do, but it's actually not supposed to be pronounced like that. Um, so it's supposed to be, I think, the proper way to say it, but don't count on me about this. I think it's supposed to be yin yang. I think that's how it's supposed to be said. I'm not quite sure, but I'll have to go back and look. So, anyways, about the yin yang, um, this is how it connects and correlates to my life. Okay, so way back in 2018, like 4 or 5 years ago, I went to go get my tubes reversed, so me and my husband could have a baby, because I have 3 children. My husband had none, so he wanted to have a baby with me, one that his of his own, his own blood. So in order to do that, I had to get my tubes unblocked. They were blocked by coils called Essure. So we found a doctor, and it just so happened that we had to travel 15 hours to go do that. So we did, and the surgery was successful, but it had a very, very, very low um, chance of us getting pregnant, because there was only a 36% chance after the surgery for us to get pregnant, number one. Number two, I have I had thyroid cancer, and I had my thyroid removed due to thyroid cancer. And when you have thyroid disease, when your thyroid levels get out of control, then it makes everything else out of control, and it can make it harder for you to conceive a baby. So there went that. And then also, my husband went to go get some testing done and he had low sperm count. So all the odds were odds were against us. So we tried and tried, and finally we conceived just 3 weeks after my surgery. I shit you not. And so we were excited, of course. We were very, very blessed. But unfortunately, I ended up having a miscarriage, a missed miscarriage. So what a missed miscarriage is that it's the baby. Your body doesn't know that the baby passed away, so it still carries the baby. It doesn't pass the baby. Your body doesn't abort the baby or exit the baby, or however you want to say it. So your body keeps the baby inside, but the baby doesn't have a heartbeat anymore. So, unfortunately, you have to go and take some medicine to make the baby and the placenta and all that stuff come out. So, anyways, I won't get into too much detail for that because that's gets kind of a touchy subject. But so the baby passed away, and my doctor wanted me to come in for a post miscarriage checkup. So I made the appointment and I went to the post miscarriage checkup, and I didn't really want to go because for women out there who have lost babies, you understand the pain that the mental and you go through mental and physical pain. And I was not going through physical pain anymore, but I was going through a lot of mental pain. I was sad, of course, depressed, um, wondering why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did my baby die? All this stuff. So I go to this post miscarriage checkup, and the doctor is feeling around on my neck. He's listening to my heartbeat and everything. And, looking at my ears, looking at my nose, my mouth, all that. So he starts feeling around on my neck more, and he finds a lump in my throat. And he starts telling the nurse, we need to get an ultrasound set up and a biopsy because there's a lump in this area that's very concerning. So I looked at him, I said, what's going on? And, he tells me, this happens a lot, especially after pregnancy. Your lymph nodes and your thyroid and everything can kind of flare up. So it could be benign, which benign means that it's nothing serious, it's non cancerous. But he scheduled me to get an ultrasound in my neck, and scheduled me to get a biopsy, which is where they put a needle in your neck and they poke the nodule that's inflamed, or your thyroid, or your lymph nodes that are bigger. So he scheduled me that. I went in. I got the ultrasound done. It was indeed a lump on my thyroid. I got a biopsy done, and they poked the needle into um, the not the what do you call it, like the tumor that was on my thyroid. And I had to wait and wait and wait for results, and sure enough, the results came back after a week and a half, and I found out it was cancer. So, number one, the baby died. I miscarried the baby. Number two, I got hit with news that I had thyroid cancer right after I lost the baby, from the post miscarriage checkup. Okay, well, here's the yin and the yang, you guys. Here's the good with the bad. Here is a life lost is one gained. A life lost, my baby. A life gained, mine. Because I lost that baby, I get to gain the rest of my life to be with my children and my husband and my family and friends, and to be able to talk to you guys right now. Because if that didn't happen to me, they probably would have never found the thyroid cancer. because the reason why they found it is because the baby passed away, and the doctor wanted me to come and check up on how my body was doing after the baby passed away. And that's how they found the thyroid cancer. So, take the good in with the bad, and remember that there is a life born after one dies, and that there's always good, bad, and there's always a rainbow after a storm. All of those are so cliche, but they're very, very, very true. And you know, me and my husband, we've been talking about a lot of different things. We've been talking about like the Karate Kid. We've been talking about like how Mr. Miyagi made Daniel-san wax the cars, wax the cars, sand the deck, paint the fence, and how Daniel-san was getting so annoyed and so angry because he wasn't really understanding why Mr. Miyagi was making him do all this stuff. He wanted to learn karate, and he wanted to learn it now. He didn't want to wait. He wanted to learn now, and he was wondering why this whole time Mr. Miyagi wasn't teaching him karate, when in fact the whole time he was being taught karate. He just wasn't paying attention to the lessons that Mr. Miyagi was teaching him. So, it all comes back to the yin and yang, and the seven charkas, and good and bad, and taking all of that in, because every time that there's something going on in your life, there's a reason for it. There's a lesson to be learned, good or bad, just like the yin yang, black, white. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that, and I wanted you to hear my story, because it's a prime example as to why, as to how there is something that's bad that follows up with something good, or vice versa. Sometimes we don't always get that good. Sometimes we're put here for a reason, and we have a lot of crappy and shitty things that happen to us, but it's always for a reason. Do you know the movie Johnny Q? Okay, at the beginning of the movie, there's a lady that gets in a car accident. She passes away, but they have her on life support, and they tried to revive her and everything, and she just didn't make it. But in the middle of the movie, it starts to talk about and show how Denzel Washington's son in the movie ends up having heart issues, and ends up having like a heart attack type thing. And so he's put in the hospital, and they were told, Denzel Washington in the movie and his wife in the movie, I can't remember her name, but they were both told that their son was going to die if he didn't get a heart replacement, if he didn't get a heart transplant. So all this stuff happens in the movie. They try their hardest to save up money for their son, to find a heart and to find a donor. They try their hardest to save money and work extra shifts and sell furniture and everything was going wrong for this couple. And they wanted so badly for their son to live and to get better. So it wasn't going good, and they didn't know why. So Denzel Washington in the movie gets crazy on the hospital, locks the hospital down, demands his son to have a new heart. And so the FBI and cops and everyone are negotiating with him over the phone. And at the end of the movie, lo and behold, they negotiate that if they find the heart for this kid, Denzel Washington will let people go. He'll let the hostages that he's holding in the hospital go, and everything. So they're looking for a match. The hospital. They don't find one. But then that day, we rewind back to that day where the lady passed away from the car accident at the beginning of the movie, and we find out that she passed away because she was actually the match for the little boy's heart. So they found out that her heart was a match for the boy. So although it was very sad that the lady passed away, she got in a car accident, she died, this little boy who didn't really get to live his life because he was only a little boy got the chance to live the rest of his life that and grow up and learn how life is and experience life because of this lady's passing. If it wasn't for her, he wouldn't have had a heart. So like I said, you guys, the good with the bad. And even though shitty things are happening, there's always a reason why. So, and if we don't know that, if we don't ever find out that reason, then we just weren't meant to know. But I know in my heart, I feel that there always is a reason, even if we don't find out what it is. There always is a reason for something good that happens to us. There's always a reason for something bad that happens to us. I just had a friend pass away, and I just found this out just a few days ago. And it's been shaking me up, and I've been trying to reach out to my old friend, his brother, and stuff like that. And I just have been sitting here boggling my mind trying to understand why people die. And I don't exactly understand it, but you know, there is a reason for everything. Just remember that. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that, make this video. And I was supposed to make it yesterday, but I just wasn't feeling good. But I did it. Here it is. And I will be on with another... excuse me. Okay, rewind back. I will be on with another life topic. Thank you.